Hi again. This time we're going to try some things with a pencil. I think many people like to model big things like houses and cars and stuff, but I always like to model the small things that we don't usually notice and try to get them to look as good as possible. So a pencil is a good one in that sense. Now, this is how it looks when it's finished, and this is how it looks while we're still working on it. Basically, it's just a hexagonal cylinder that has some edge rings and edge loops here so that we can make the pointy end look nice. There's a color here, and then there's some wooden part here, and then there's the colored end down here. To start with this, we just go to File, New, and delete the box because we don't need that for anything. Go to the top view and insert a circle. Before doing anything else, go and drop the number of vertices to just 6 because that's all you need. Make it slightly smaller like so, and then using the edit mode, extrude along the z-axis. It doesn't actually matter how tall you make it at this point because you can always size it later, but for the purposes of this presentation, let's make it look like that. The next thing you need is to have some edge loops, loop, cut, and slide over here, and you need to use the mouse scrolling button to get 3 of these on each of the sides. So you put in 1 and then you scroll 2 and 3 and click on the left. Again, that's Control R, 1, 2, click. Control R, 1, 2, click, and that's what you do for all of these sides, because this one is needed later. That's it. Now, the pointed end of the pencil needs to be done with a proportional pull, and that is enabled from here. Enable proportional mode and make it a... You can actually take pretty much any of these, but I'll just take the sphere. And then I'll select the middle vertex on each of these top vertices, because when I then do a pull from here, I will get the nice round form for the wood part. The only problem here is that you have to be fiddling with your mouse. You have to push down the left mouse button, and then while it is pushed down, you need to scroll forward until the size of the selection ring is something like that. Because then when you pull, you will see that you get this this wavy form on the top of the pencil. That's quite good. And then we need a couple of more loop cuts here because we will be using the subdivision surface later. So let's put in a couple so we have a couple of the spare. And we'll do that same thing here at the other end as well, just so that we get some space. And one more. And that's it. Now we go back to the top, and we will take the first loop ring with the Alt right click, and then extrude again along the Z to get enough material for the pointed part. Now, with those vertices selected, just hit Alt M for merge and merge the vertices at the center, and this gives you the sharp end of the thing. The only thing is that if you did just this, you would get a fully black pencil all the way here, or you couldn't get the top, the pointy end to be black at all. So the best way to handle that is to select the next loop ring and pull it up as well, while then you have to disable this proportional editing to be able to do the black part for the top. So you just say disable from here. Select the top loop ring with Alt click and then go in here and then just size it in so that you get a nice smooth form like that, and a bit more up and size, because this way you can handle it any which way you like. And if you like, you can just push in this so that it's not like too pointy. Well, that's basically all there is to it. Let's just go back to object mode and rotate it along the X at 90 degrees. It's easier to handle somehow when you're looking at this way. And now all that needs to be done is to put in the materials for this. So let's put in a red material for the whole pencil. First, materials, new, call it red, and make this diffuse color whatever color you like, something like that. Then you probably want to take the specularity down a bit so that it doesn't shine that much. Then we do the top. You can use the same color for the top of the pencil as well. It's actually this part here that you want to get properly into a wood color. So you turn on select, or actually it's not select, but you see limit selection to visible, turn it off so that you can actually select everything that you have. And then with the B key, select these edges like so. Or if you want to, you can select the faces like that as well. It doesn't really matter. The point is that you have to take the ones that are not at the top and not on the red, but in the middle. And then we create another material from here like so and call that wood color. And we can make the color from the diffuse just by taking something that looks like wood, a bit darker maybe, like so, and add a texture that gives it some noise. We call it new texture, we call that wood noise, and its type might be something like noise. You can make it a bit bigger if you want. The point almost certainly is that it doesn't have to be very intense, and your material is going to look like that. It's okay. We go back to material and then we say assign, and it gets assigned to this part here. The end of the pencil needs to be closed, so you can select the last ring of vertices here and just say Alt M and merge at center, and it will be closed nicely like that. The reason you need to have this loop ring here is that now when we go back to object mode and add the subdivision surface modifier a couple of times like that, you need to have this edge ring so that you can adjust how the end of your pencil looks like. And at the other end is the same thing. With this you can adjust how the pencil will finally look. Let's do a quick render and see it's off the mark. We go to 0, which is the key for the camera view, and we turn on from the properties lock camera to view. This is a good button here because with this you can have the camera stay in place and move the things on the scene so that it's easy to make a good render. It looks quite nice. The thing that we need to do now is to add the text, the Faber-Castell text. And if we look at this pencil, you will see that it's not properly aligned for text. It's quite hard to place the text if it's not a horizontal plane that you are adding it to. So we will need to rotate the pencil. Now that it's fully selected, you can rotate it along the y-axis for 30 degrees. And now it's fully horizontal. Yeah. So let's add the text. For that we go to the 7 view again, add text and tab into edit mode and call it, I have no idea what it would actually say on a pen like this, but I'll just call it Faber-Castell HB2 and give that a material as well. I'll make it a bright yellow color for the letters, or a slightly golden, like that. That's fine. Then I'll just size it and rotate it along the z-axis for 90 degrees. I'm using the shift key to make it easier for me to reach the 90 degrees. Place it there, it's not in the right size. Scale, move, scale and move. Easier to do if you're on the top view. That's nice. And then just push it down until it disappears and then pull it up again. Of course you could use a snap here, but I don't actually want to do the snap because it's easier enough to do it like this and use these location spinners to make it finally appear in the right place. 240 would be probably the one. No, it's too much in. That's about the right place. So here's the pencil, and how does it look in the render? It looks quite nice.